Okay, so now here is segment 2 of our show, which is the future of work, AI, automation, and the gig economy. Okay, so I was interested in this subject personally, um, because I like to know what's going to happen. Obviously, robots are coming, they're not going anywhere. And I'm always like, how is that going to affect me? Like, how is it going to affect my job? And I think that's one thing people want to know. Like, it's nice, it's all good that all this is happening, but what does that got to do with me? You know? Um, and it was on my to-do list to find out, to research. And then Chris kind of like researched it the other day. So I was like, we'll just throw it on the show. It's very relevant for right now. So what do you feel about technology, I guess, and what's everything that's happening, I guess, before we get into it?
I don't think people are realizing how bad things are going to get. I mean, this is scary to kind of say it that way, but it's coming and it's going to be unstoppable. I mean, if you think about it, even like, I guess it's part of history, part of technology. Like before, what you had the house phone, then it became like the cell phone, and then you had the internet come about. Like those things are all like huge changes. So I guess as progress changes, it's something that's coming, and robots have been around, they've been in movies for so long. Those are things that we took it as a movie, but it's things that technology hasn't kept up. Like even like the Jetsons when you were as a child watching movies of the flying things. I mean, those are basically almost here. At least not released in mass yet, but those things are all coming about, like the flying helicopters to go from here to there. I don't know, helicopter taxis, they would say. Um. Anyway, so like even I guess the just first thing that's going to be coming is like the robo taxis. So all the taxi drivers. First, I guess came Uber. Uber killed the taxis. Now, what's going to kill Uber? Well, not kill Uber because Uber is going to do it too. Is going to be the taxiless drivers. I mean, the driverless
I'm not
cars.
getting into that. If it doesn't have a person, I'm not getting into it.
Thing about that is just to make sure that I guess, the sensors are safe. Because if you think about it, as long as it doesn't fuck up, it's really safer than driving with a person. They have thousands of things watching every angle that you as a person can never watch. Consistency on speed, different angles, timing that you can never calculate. Maybe you're having a bad day, you focus, you got a text message, you turn for 2 seconds. The robots are not turning for 2 seconds and losing focus. That just doesn't happen.
I understand that, but first of all, I already don't trust the cars right now because they can control my car from anywhere. So I'm a big end of the world prepper so everyone knows. Like I believe you should have a diesel car somewhere so that when that time comes, you can just get in your car and the government cannot track your car, or stop it in the middle of the road because now our nice little car can be stopped anywhere. So Teslas are even worse. And now you want me to get into a thing where I have to defend myself, not even with a driver, to try to get out this thing that they can manipulate any way, anyhow they want. No, thank you. I'm not getting into that.
Well, I guess what is coming regardless, whether you like it or not.
I will be the weirdo driving her diesel car by then.
Yeah, but even then, remember, if you're really replacing first, is going to replace the taxis, the Ubers, is what going to be replaced first.
It's okay. I have two personal Uber driver.
No, I'm talking about what if when you travel.
I will walk.
Okay.
I will skateboard. Oh, no.
Anyways, I guess let's move on from the taxi stuff.
Okay, so it's research estimated the rise of AI in the workplace that by 2030, up to 375 million workers, or 14% of the global workforce, may need to switch occupational categories due to automation. So they're coming for your job. That's how it starts affecting you also, which is why I really wanted to go on this topic.
I guess let's think about it. All the careers that could be automated. I guess all the factory stuff, that's for one.
I think that's on there. So if you
All the Amazon jobs, I don't know how much, 100,000 people that they help. What you call it? The robots are already there. They're moving around packages around the warehouse, putting it up and down the racks. So that could be easily automated. The food workers are coming. They already have that in some places
What, they're
where,
taking orders, you mean in fast food places?
well, there's the taking, well, not the taking orders, because you still place the order yourself to a machine, I guess. But it's more the cooking of the food
Oh,
is
so you mean the
automated.
guy, I saw that robot. That's super
The
weird.
robot that cooks your food, that mixes it up, stuff like that. They can make your coffee for you as a
But
barista.
that's soulless.
Yes, but the problem again, everybody wants things cheap, and that's the part to being cheap.
Well, it's not that. Everybody wants to get cheap and everybody wants
Fast,
to get paid more.
more, yes.
So in order for them to lower cost, they're just going to bypass people. And it's true because all lower wages jobs, oh, I should have had a stat for that. I didn't even think about that until like you're on the show. Lower wages job, not even children want that anymore. Like McDonald's jobs and stuff like that, because they all think they're gonna be the next TikToker or stuff like that. They rather do other stuff, or they're learning like either TikTok, or they're learning to do what's the money thing? Trading, or they're learning different things. So they don't want those jobs, right? So now there is nobody to do those jobs. So, and then the people who are willing to do it, you can. I understand, guys, that everybody has bills to pay, but you can't require $30 to flip a burger. Like, I forgot what is the job we were looking at the other day, and they were asking.
It was the Louis Vuitton. They said they can't find workers to do work here. Everybody wants to made in America, but they can't find enough workers to work in the factories for $17 an hour, which is pretty decent. I mean, I don't know what state that was in. $17 an hour. Everybody in the comments were like, oh, $30, $50 an hour. I mean, yes, the company could afford it, but in reality, they're not going to pay you $200 an hour just because, it's that kind of company. People have to realize that the value you provide is not a relative scale to what they make. Unfortunately, that's not the way the world works. You're not going to be paid just because I make, let's say, $10,000 an hour. I'm not going to pay you $5,000 an hour because I make so much money. No, I'm going to pay the same $12 an hour to help me out. Gradually, if you provide value, you might get paid more because I don't want to lose you. In reality, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, so exactly. So I was saying, I understand everybody has bills to pay. But if you're flipping burgers, I can't pay you $30 to flip burgers. Because if I'm paying you $30 to flip burgers, how much am I paying my accounting? For my accountant, $5,000 per hour? Like, you guys have flipping burgers, I'm sorry, is a starter job.
You know what? That's true.
Like it used to be for children. It's not for adults.
You know what? You're right. That's true. That's what people don't really realize, especially if you're not a business person. Business people understand how these different level positions work because if you're the bottom worker, which let's be realistic, the fast food stuff like that is an entry level position, the bottom of the pay scale, honestly. So if I gotta pay you $50 an hour, you want to get paid. As you said, the accountant gotta get paid what? It's definitely much higher value than that entry level. So what? Now I gotta pay that accountant $500 because clearly he's a more valuable person.
You went to college for that skill.
Yeah.
It's a very important, valuable position for the business because you're managing the money. Like,
Accountant, then there's the CEO, there's the CFO, there's this person and that person. Then you push everything up. Then you keep pushing up the scale. What people don't realize, you keep pushing up that scale. Then if you make more money, everything else becomes more expensive as well.
Louis Vuitton bag is still going to be now even more expensive because they're not cutting that cost for BS.
Yeah, the more income a person makes, the more people can charge on the other end. That house that used to cost, the rent was maybe $1,000. But you know what? If everybody in my area now is making double the amount of money, it's no longer going to be $1,000 house still now. It's going to be $2,000 because you know why? People have more income. So the whole fact of wanting to be paid more is not the problem. The problem is, I personally think that it's like a whole psychological game and the government just want to keep making more income as the people. There's a certain system that on the back end that they know what they're doing. They're making more money, raising things up over time. I don't personally believe it's inflation nonsense. I think it's kind of crazy. It makes sense because that's what we've been taught. But I think that it's really
Rigged.
It's rigged. I think the whole system is rigged, and the whole value system and everything like that needs to be looked at, because the problem is not the income. The problem is all those things that keep going up and up, the expenses, the housing. People keep making more houses every year, but then those new houses get more expensive over time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every year, the new construction that's supposed to be cheaper for affordable, it's never affordable. It's just as expensive as a regular house right now. So it's like the more money you make does not solve that problem. And unfortunately, the way things are going, I believe that, was it UBI is going to be a thing soon, because like you just will just work to do nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Universal basic
I
income,
was
where
going
you're
to say,
just,
but I realize what it is.
where you're just going to be paid to just, I don't know, do nothing and maybe get some food. And
And then that's when you live in the meta world.
yeah, in the meta world, and what is it? Or
You see it on the movies, but it's coming.
or it becomes communist in a communist country, which all the people keep crying for, that they want a type of lifestyle. Or socialist. Is socialist is what it is?
Yeah, you all get the same amount of money. Everybody gets paid the same, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and then you get the same crappy food. All the options are gone. For only the ones who could get the nice options is, people who could afford it, who provided the value. Anyways, the point of this is really to make sure that you go ahead and figure out, plan 5, 10, 20 years ahead for a career. I mean, like if you're, let's say, I don't even know what, I think we have some examples here, but
Yeah, you're
definitely,
jumping the gun.
I guess go ahead. You continue.
I was gonna say something, I forgot what. But okay, so automation impact on productivity. Adopting AI and advanced automation see productivity gains of up 40%, shifting demands toward more creative and technical role. And the gig economy is gonna be growing. According to MasterCard's 2021 Gig Economy Index, the global gig economy generated $204 billion in revenue in 2018, with projection to grow to $455 billion by 2023. So that's basically double.
Just to add in there quickly, in case you don't know what the gig economy means, it's stuff like Uber, the food delivery, the freelance work where you do designer, accounting, stuff like that. It's those,
Yeah, we're gonna touch on that more.
it's those freelance one-off type, services.
Yeah, I guess your side hustles.
Your side
Yeah.
hustle stuff, yeah.
So how AI and automation are shaping the workforce. They're redefining job roles, like Chris said. Anything that can be, you basically touched on that already. Anything that can be automated is going to be replaced. So he covered the industries that will happen in. New opportunities in AI related fields. So we're going to have an increased demand for data scientists, AI engineers, robotic specialists. So if you have children and you want them to study things, like, I think this is a way to go. And honestly, it doesn't have to go with AI. It's not going with AI or anything, but psychologists, I think, is a good. It used to be a useless degree because nobody ever wanted to go to a psychiatrist. Like, nobody ever talked about it, but now it's so in demand and we have so many people going like crazy that I think it's the next job, because this section is how to, set yourself up for success. So anything engineering, robotics, AI, psychiatrists, psychologies are now the way to go for your children to study. Those are the avenues they want them to study, and you want them to study in school if they're doing college. The threat of job displacement. So while automation boosts productivity, it also puts certain roles such as data entry clerks, factory workers, which Chris was saying, customer serving reps at risk. So those are going to be jobs that might get killed.
So you're aware, not even doctors are safe. Doctor is not a good career at all. The robots are already there, or they're being assisted with robots. That's going to be a thing.
You've seen that in movies. Honestly, just watch a sci movie. Yeah.
And you know what, too? I don't remember what the stats were, but I think doctors a lot of times is going to be something to be replaced quickly, because I think, what was it? It's a crazy amount.
Malpractice?
Yes.
I knew it.
It was one of the leading deaths of people is doctor malpractice. But I don't know what that definition of malpractice means, but I don't know if it's a surgery thing or if it's medication, but doctors kill a lot of people
Both.
apparently.
They can go both follow both under malpractice, and hospitals rush it under the rugs because it's not good advertising, and then those doctors get passed on to another hospital. It's just like the pedophile in churches. You just get passed on to the next church. I don't understand none of this, but basically this is what happened in the world. Automation is accelerating. So robots, AI, and software are taking over repetitive rules jobs. So if your job is something very simple and easy to automate, you're probably going to be replaced. So you want to step away from that kind of job.
It's like what we watched yesterday. What was it? The Susie Sanchez something. What's her name again? The one you watched yesterday? The Sanchez lady? You watched a video with her selling the stuff on Facebook, whatever.
Oh, yes. You know, I don't know her name. I watch her all the time. I don't know her name.
Sanchez, I don't remember
But
her name.
yes, she was trying to sell, what is it? Like furniture. She got free furniture, or she pays cheap. She finds it online, and then
The
Damn,
the
bro.
video was about basically she created how she can create $1,000 side hustle using automation ChatGPT. There's a certain feature in ChatGPT where she went ahead and had it as her assistant, basically went out, research, hey, I want to find, this particular type of product, let's say a chair, under $2, I mean, not $2, maybe like to say $50 in my area, find me 10 different options for me, message them on Facebook, and then go ahead and find an Uber service, fill that out for me, all automated, and have it delivered directly to me. Clearly, there was for the first time, you have to do some training involved. But basically found a way to basically automate the surveys to do the research. It found the listings, it messaged the people, it put it into an Excel spreadsheet with all the pricing, comparison, potential even research what people sell these things for again also to see like what kind of margin you can have, figure out the price for you, and then sold it. So even like your research assistant can now be done, via robots and ordering and placing and calling Uber for you.
So your side gig for that would be creating scripts for businesses. Because
Yes.
what you need is the original scripts because you want a good script that works. So if you can create good scripts, then that can be a side gig. So basically it's learning to work ChatGPT and AI.
Prompt engineer. That's what they call it.
So you see, there's already a title for it. Outsourcing remained cheaper for corporation, manufacturing, tech support, and even more medical job continue going overseas. So we have you're competing with overseas and AI. So you guys have to just you have to be proactive.
Yeah, because I guess what it is too, I guess the labor market is increasing. Everything is no longer, your city, your town, your state, or even your country. Now it was like the market is becoming, instead of the USA, now there's labor in China, there's labor in India to get, help.
Yeah, because the internet and all those websites connect everything and everyone.
Yeah. So like you could basically, get help from anywhere. So the list of people who are willing to work for less in those countries becomes easier, which is the problem we're having now with the whole China tariff thing, that basically labor is cheaper in those places, is the problem I guess we're having with, work in general, is the fact that, people could get work from anywhere now. The remote work or overseas work.
And then something we also already touched on, people don't want low status labor jobs anymore. The younger generation, are not doing it. They don't want factory work. They don't want retail work. They don't want food service because it's low wages, poor treatment, and lack of upward mobility. But the problem is those are supposed to be starter jobs for children. And then you move on to, like something in your field or in your future career. And if the kids are not doing it, then now we have adults doing it. And now they're complaining about the price because those are not meant to be adults' jobs. But some people, it's maybe the only job they're finding. But you can't blame, like any company for not paying you $30 for flipping a burger, because unrealistically, it's it's not a $30 value. I'm not saying that the person doesn't represent that value because your value isn't your job. I'm saying the job, it doesn't represent that value. So you can't request that amount of money because then it's a down, like a downfall from there. So I guess as Jimran says, you need to upgrade your skills and your value in the marketplace because everybody's a valuable person. You just need to update your skills as a work in the workforce. So if you want to get more money, you need to bring more value. So what's going to happen is that millions of jobs that supported the working class, especially those without degrees, are disappearing or becoming unlivable. And yeah, we don't have a pay problem. Also, I think we have a living wage problem. Like everything is too expensive. And it's never going to catch up because, like you said earlier, honestly, basically, if they give us more money, they're still going to raise the house. There's going to be a catch 50-50. The only way we fix this is people get a little bit of more money from the bottom, scrolling up, but the cost of living needs to remain the same. Because if that cost of living goes up, then it's just going to keep going the same cycle. So people keep asking for more money. People need to stop asking for a higher minimum wage. People need to start asking for the living wage to stop increasing. That's really what we need to do. That's where government fix this, but they don't want to fix it.
The problem is there's just too many variables, too many people to get upset, and that's unfortunate. It's not going to change because sure, it's fine to go ahead and let's say if you stop the value of your house increasing, who's going to be upset about that? Who own the homes, the real estate, where their business is that price increasing over time. So then, yeah, there's so much millions that's going to be lost in real estate values and stuff like that. So they don't want to hear that. They want my house to go more expensive so I can sell it, make more money.
But listen, it's like everything in life. You work on yourself so that you end the cycle of trauma in your family. If you don't stop the hate, the same with like Jewish people and Palestine, if you don't stop at some generation, the hate all around, the cycle is going to keep going. If you don't take a loss now in a certain generation with this living wage stopping in order for everything to catch up so that our children can have a chance, then the cycle is never going to end. The problem is a generation never wants to be the generation to take that first step. Like if you don't stop it, it's not gonna end. If you don't stop blaming white people for what happened 400 years ago, we cannot move on. Like everything, at some point, people have to put an end to things so that we can all move forward. But until people like realize that is the problem, nothing is ever gonna move forward. We're going to be stuck still with the same issue, talking about the same thing 3 years from now.
Well, not to make it political, but again, I guess Trump is making a little bit of a stance on that because we've been talking about this whole tariff thing and value for, I guess, in like 25 years that China's been screwing us over. In some degree, yes, there's a pros and cons to that whole scenario, but people never look at it as the other side where it's not an equal trade because we take all the imports, we want the cheap stuff, but when we want to send our stuff over to them, we get taxed as well. So we get fucked in the butt, but we can't do any fucking. You know what I mean? It's a weird example.
We're not using this as a clip.
But you get what I'm saying? Like it's basically it should be as a equal playing field for both ways. Whether it's even a little close, but it's far off. I mean, a lot of countries are like that. Like Canada's a neighbor, but certain things, they take stuff from us, but we can't send stuff to them. It shouldn't be like that. And that's, I guess, one thing that I guess he's trying to fix, whether it's political or not. It has its pros and its cons. People being screwed over in the current because you have to basically put a stop to it because if we just let it keep going, then it won't fix that problem because there is a trade gap where, we should be able to also compete in their market for people who export things. There's imports and exports. There should be some of a value that we can push out that they should be able to take. Certain cars are not sold. Like there's certain cars that are made here, we can't sell them in Canada because they're protecting their industry. Well,
Yeah, that could be another episode, but
it is gonna be so.
Oh,
yeah.
it is. Chris already said it.
She said, yeah, like I guess at some point we have to really put our foot down and take one for the team.
It has to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and I guess that's just one example of that happening now. But this one for the team, I don't know. Real estate's going to be a tough one that affects a lot of people's pockets. I don't know other than that. Robots stopping, technology stopping, I don't think that's happening.
That's not going anywhere, and I knew that wasn't going anywhere. I like technology and AI to a certain extent because I guess I've watched enough sci-fi movie to see what it can do to us. But I know it's not going anywhere. So when it all started, I told Chris, what are good AI companies to invest in? Because, like I gotta make, like, if I can't change it, how can I benefit from it, make it work for me? But I think eventually we're gonna have to put our foot down at some point so it doesn't take over us. But I guess we haven't reached there.
For me, I'm not scared of the technology. I'm scared of not being able to have a job, a future, or kids, Tyreek and his kids having a decent future. If you're super rich, I think that money will last you to hopefully still have something in play. But people at the bottom, middle class people or whatever, I don't know what's going to be left. I mean, I think in our career where we do marketing services, printing things, I think that, I don't know if that's going to be automated anytime soon, but, there's a lot of careers that certain people are going to have this, like, basically the pool of jobs is just going to get smaller and smaller if you really think. People are going to be they're not going to be less people unless you do some stuff to get rid of it, which is maybe that's part of that 2030 type plan where it's reducing the population.
Yeah, they've been surely and slowly.
Whether that's something, maybe that's a point of reducing it to basically help with this problem.
That can be a topic.
That could be something that's another topic, but that could be a reason why too, because it is going to have a big problem where there's too many people and enough jobs because of all the things that get cut out, and this cutting out is happening. All the maid jobs, the painting, painter jobs, and robots just painting your house, cleaning up the floor. That's gonna be a machine. I mean, they have the iRobot things right now that could vacuum, sweep. It's not hard to necessarily have a robot come take out your trash or, wash the dishes. It's eventually gonna have those little tasks that, you've seen it in the movies. I mean, it's gonna happen too. So, a certain part, even let's say even picking in the fields, like they have robots that pick, fruits and stuff already. So it's like, eventually nobody's going to be safe. And then like, what's left? 20 people doing what? Nothing. And then that's when we have revolts. And we all know that government and people, that something's going to happen. Something has to give somewhere, to get rid of people. And it's going to suck.
The meta world, though, I'm telling you, those things people are just going to live in there, in the La La Land.
Like that movie we watched the other day.
But it's not the only one we've seen. There's been so many that's going to be happening. People live in like a 10 by 10. And then because you're living in the meta world, your body is just there, but you're living your life in non-reality. You don't need much space.
That concept has been put on hold based on research. I think eventually it's going to happen. But remember, Facebook was the one who tried to work on that. And I think it went to the back burner because it wasn't working out. Like the whole meta play world thing it's not there anymore. Somebody's going to figure it out eventually as technology progresses. But I guess it's not as good as what technology allows, I guess is what it is. We want that real sensation, and it's not there. It's more like computer gaming type stuff now.
Okay, so upskilling and reskilling. A 2021 report by LinkedIn Learning revealed that 59% of employees believe their company's adoption of new technology will require them to learn new skills. So people are already seeing since 2021 the need to learn new skills. High demand skills. Research from the IDC projects that global AI market will reach 500 billion by 2024, fueling demand for professionals with expertise in machine learning, neutral neural networks and AI ethnics. So we said neural networks is going to be so you can connect AI to us. And so anything AI, basically, we said engineering and stuff like that. On job displacement risk, the OECD estimate that around 14% of current jobs could be fully automated, while another 30% may experience significant changes in the task performed. So 14% already can be replaced. They're working, another 32% is working. So you guys everybody needs to figure out, is my job safe? And if it's not, what can I do to, survive? So the gig economy, now you can talk about it because a new era of work. So the rise of freelancing platform, I guess you'll take that one because that's up your alley anyways.
Yeah, the online platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and TaskRabbit have created new avenues for independent workers, allowing them to reach global markets and earn flexible income. So yeah, I guess Upwork is more for graphic design, coding, stuff like that, which has been around
For everything.
for a while. I think Upwork is more.
Can't you get like virtual assistants and stuff on Upwork?
I guess you're right. I never really used it for that, so I don't really.
Yeah, they have everything now.
Well, basically Upwork, yeah, is I guess one type of online tasks, programming. I
That
guess
you can delegate,
delegate
outsource.
tasks and stuff like that. So people from India, Philippines, even Chinese people. I guess it's not even specific to anywhere, but if you want to post your services, post your rate, and you bid out jobs. That's really all it is. Same thing on Fiverr. Fiverr basically is the one, used to be $5 for everything, but now you can charge $300, $400, $500. It's just a starting point. It's just a name at this point.
And it gives you the opportunity to work on your own time. So after your job, which helps you build, and then you can work from anywhere.
Yeah, from anywhere, flexible schedule. You put in whatever hours you want. You accept whatever jobs you want. You don't want to make an extra $100 a month. You put up your listing. You can close it, take it off, whatever. But Fiverr is you could do. I think the thing about Fiverr, I like it seems more legit to some degree for certain careers. I think it seems more legit to me. Like accounting and stuff like that seems a little more favorite to me. TaskRabbit is more local to your area. So if you're a handyman or cleaning services, painting services.
I've never been on that.
I've been on it. I haven't really used it for anything, but I've been on it. In type of lawn care or type of picking up something, renting out your truck, you could do it on TaskRabbit. That's, any little gigs that you could put on. Gig work's economic impact. The gig economy has grown steadily with an increasing number of professionals ranging from writers and designers to coders and consulting, opting for freelance and contract roles over traditional employment.
You covered that.
Yeah. So basically, it's the freedom to do whatever you want. I mean, it's freelance work. You don't have a boss. You set your hours. Maybe it's an extra income at nighttime.
Some people make it full careers eventually. Like if you get a different, good, client list.
Think about it. You might think gig is a one-off thing. Certain careers is like an ongoing service that, like, you could even just be too busy. Like, I reached out to a guy and everyone just like, oh, I'm too busy right now. Like, yes, he just has
that's a good problem to have.
Like steady work. You know what I mean? So it gets kind of crazy to think that, you might think that's just a side gig, but if you're good enough and you get good ratings, I guess you can make it a full-time career. Challenges facing gig workers. Despite flexibility, gig workers face unique hurdles, including income unpredictability, lack of benefits, limited job security, prompting calls for improved protection and innovative solutions like portable benefits. Not sure what that means. But yeah, the problem with any other job, I guess it's like anything else. Like if you work for yourself, like you don't know what you're gonna make. Sometimes things are great, things disappear. Like
this is entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's basically gig work is entrepreneur life is like, yeah, you work all night sometimes, and sometimes you just have nothing to do twiddling your thumbs. Like it's a hustle. So it's kind of crazy, that kind of life. Gig work becomes a lifeline, not a side hustle.
That's basically where we're going. It's what that is. Like you're gonna have that's the gig work is what's bridging the gap from that minimum wage to making a living wage in order to pay all your bills. You have to have 2 or 3 side hustles, gig works. And that's where we're going for sure and permanently.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the time to do it, I don't see why not. I mean, it's just a small risk that you can take that hopefully brings in more money. I mean, more money means you're less stressed to some degree, or that could be a full-time career at some point, you know. I guess you could continue.
Mm. So I guess, yeah, more people will survive on app-based jobs, Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, TaskRabbit, etc. You just don't get no benefits, but it's going to become a necessity. Freelancer growth rate, a 2021 study by Upwork found that 36% of the US workforce freelance in some capacity, counting 1.3 billion in annual earnings, an increase of 8% from the previous year. So, yeah, 36% in 2021 of US people were working on Upwork. So the only thing with that is an income stability concern. But to me, you start as a side gig. Like it's not supposed to be your only gig. So you should be able to have other stuff to support that. It's an add-on, not extra. Policy development, government worldwide are exploring legislative measure to address gig workers' protections. For example, California AB5 legislation sought to reclassify certain gig works as employees, sparking ongoing debates about workers' rights and employees' responsibilities. So I guess they're trying to give more value and more rights, I guess, to those side jobs. And maybe eventually, I don't know if maybe they might do like a government, healthcare, I don't know. But it's basically it's a conversation already in government that all those jobs are taking place. So
I think this part is important, but we kind of need to get going too.
um adapting to the future of work, investing in lifelong learning as technology evolves, continuous education become essential. So you guys need to, learn some skills, AI related, even if it's just using scripts for AI in your job, because it's not supposed to do the whole work, it's supposed to help you. So for people who are anti-technology, it's not going anywhere. Just figure out how to work it into your job to make you better and invaluable so that your company doesn't let you go. Right? Um, yeah, it's gonna basically we covered all of that. Oh, the only thing, the trade, we have trades in demand, but like electricians, plumber, HVAC, mechanics. The only thing with that is it's hard to automate, but it's in high demand, but this generation doesn't want to learn it.
I saw somewhere that it's becoming more of a thing, whether it's certain demographic of people, certain areas, but I think they're becoming more into it because I guess they're finding more fulfillment in those careers to some degree.
And to me, it's faster to learn than going for a 4-year degree, because I think trades are like 2 years or less sometimes. So why not? The creator and content economy will be exploding. So millions will try to earn money from YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, OnlyFans, podcasting, affiliate marketing, online coaching, selling courses, or digital products. 99% will not succeed. That's not really nice. But the illusion of easy internet money will keep people trying. But either way, the basically creator and content marketing isn't going anywhere. And micro entrepreneurship, everyone's a hustler. We've seen it. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep increasing. Flipping furniture, sneakers, anything Amazon, eBay, people renting out their cars. So I guess like Turo and stuff like that, that's going to go up just to keep building on extra sources of income. And the one that you only see in movies, but that will be coming, is the underground economy, where you're just going to start barter. Like people of low income are just going to have to exchange skills. So maybe I shave your beer, can you cook me some food? Because I don't know how to cook. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But yeah, people are just gonna exchange services because you don't have money. That's all you can do. But I think that's when we reach that level of
AI.
yeah, where we're really at the low end of it. What would actually happen the next 5 to 10 years? More inequality, more mental health crisis because people are going to be unemployed and depressed. More rage against the system, more political unrest, more people dropping out of the system. So people living under the grid, vans, tiny homes, like, fuck it, I don't need this big house. I can't, people living like downsizing, basically, growing your own food.
Actually, no, yeah, that's actually a good path to take. I mean, once you make up a certain amount of money, you get your space of land in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, fuck the
You can buy a van. There are some really nice little houses.
regular world, and you just need to have a little bit of money to just maybe certain things. But yeah, you find a farm, you go and have your land, you build your thing, you grow your
You
vegetables.
can grow it
And
with a community too, like-minded people, and you guys just hang together.
I guess maybe you can get your cow and whatever type of things out there, and you go hunting. Cause yeah, it's gonna get crazy at some point where it's just like there's nothing for you to do.
5 to 10 years.
Yeah, which is sadly it's just right there. I think there was a thing where Elon said it was gonna be like, yeah, and like the next thing at 3035 or something is gonna be like so much thousands of robots for everybody or something. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, it's coming. So you just need to prepare. What should regular people do to prepare? Learn at least one online skill because everything is going to be online. So copywriting, graphic design, video editing, AI prompt writing, web design. So anything that you can do from your computer from a small space because everything is online. So anything you can do for online. Build a hustle portfolio because one income stream isn't going to be enough. So remember we had one episode where we were talking about finances and I said everybody needs 7 sources of income now to be able to make it and to live comfortable. So figure out, affiliate, content marketing, like whatever it is, create your different avenues to make money. So you can try flipping items, whatever works for you. Any of the stuff we talked about during this show. And grow a local support system from now because when shit hits the fan, you're going to need to know who's your neighbor, who's a gun owner, who's your neighbor, who's growing food, and you want to be around people you trust. So basically start building your tribe, like a tribe of people you can trust and that's nearby. Because someone in another state and you can't travel at that time that when it hits the fan, that's not going to help you. So start making nice with people in your area that you can trust.
And now that I'm thinking about it, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but as it says here, there's gonna be a big rage against the system because yeah, like it's gonna hit people hard, extremely hard. Like if you think people hate Elon Musk now because of what he's doing with I guess finding all the debt, whatever. Wait until he puts out those robots in people's houses and taking up people's job. People are gonna go nuts because it's gonna be bad. There's gonna be so much jobs. It's gonna be even if you don't even want to have the robots, but just the fact that they're here is gonna create such a thing because it's gonna know what's gonna happen.
But that they're here and that they stole jobs.
Yeah, stealing the jobs, and then it's just gonna be like they're just gonna take over so much little things out of life, and like you have so little left to even live for at that point.
Yeah, so stay educated and stay ahead. Don't wait until the wave hits. Watch trends early, what jobs are being replaced, what tools are being used, and what businesses are popping up around you. You just want to stay ahead of the curve because it's coming. So you have to protect yourself and your family and educate your children so they can know what to do themselves, like for their future. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of facts too. So I think
To wrap it up.
I guess that's about it for this section.